Here we are back with Genesis chapter 6, the world gone wrong. Listen, this is very important. A lot of people are talking about this today based on the Dead Sea Scrolls and what they've heard and read from there. When the people began to multiply on the earth and the daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the beautiful women and took any they wanted as their wives. The sons of God. The sons of God refers to a group of people who were descended from Seth, Adam's third son, and were considered to be righteous and God-fearing. Listen here. The interpretation contrasts with the daughters of men, who were descendants of Cain and were seen as more wicked and ungodly. Some scholars interpret the sons of God as fallen angels. Then the Lord said, "My spirit will not put up with humans for such a long time, for they are only mortal flesh. In the future, their normal lifespan will be no more than 120 years. Thank you, God." In those days, and for some time after, listen here, giant Nephilites lived on the earth. For whenever the sons of God had intercourse, whenever these sons of God had intercourse with the women, they gave birth to children who became the heroes and famous warriors of ancient times. Other gods is what he's referring to. Giants. Some people look at Marvel and go, Thor. Thor is God. Yep, Thor is a god. What kind of god? Not the God. This is who he's talking about. The giants, the Nephilim, other gods. God does not deny there's other powerful creatures here on earth. What happened was the angels that were kicked out of heaven had sex with human women, and these women gave birth to demons. I'm going to read it again. In those days, and for some time after, giants, Nephilites, lived on the earth. For whenever the sons of God had intercourse with women, they gave birth to children who become the heroes and famous warriors of ancient times. The Lord observed the extent of the human wickedness on earth, and he saw that everything they thought or imagined was consistently and totally evil. Why? Because they were born evil. And evil people do evil things. I didn't say evil humans. These are creatures. Well, I guess we're creatures too, in a way. But they were not human. So the Lord was sorry he had ever made them and put them on the earth. The Lord was sorry. God was sorry that he did this, that he put them on earth. Because they're ruining the plan. It broke his heart. It broke God's heart. Did you know God had a heart? And the Lord said, "I will wipe this human race I have created from the face of the earth. Yes, and I will destroy every living thing, all the people, the large animals, small animals, even the birds. I am sorry I ever made them." But Noah found favor with the Lord. Noah was a righteous man, the only blameless person living on earth at the time, and he walked in close fellowship with God. Noah was the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now God saw the earth and had become corrupt and was filled with violence. This is thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and here we are, 2025, the same situation. God observed all this corruption in the world, for everyone on earth was corrupt. So God said to Noah, I have decided to destroy all living creatures, for they have filled the earth with violence. Yes, I will wipe them out along with the earth, along with the earth. He says to Noah, build a large boat from cypress wood and waterproof it with tar inside and out. Then construct decks and stalls throughout the interior. Look, I'm about to cover the earth with a flood that will destroy everything that breathes. Everything on earth will die. But I will confirm my covenant with you. So enter the boat, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring a pair of every kind of animal, a male and a female, into the boat with you to keep them alive during the flood. Pairs of every kind of bird and every kind of animal and every kind of small animal. They will all come to you to be kept alive. And be sure to take on board enough food for your family and for all of the animals. So Noah did everything exactly as God commanded him. Listen, Noah did everything God had commanded him. Unlike Cain, Noah did everything. Not some things, not, oh, I'll grab a few of them, and I'll grab a little food, and I'll build a boat, but not to those dimensions. He lists those dimensions. I skipped them. It's not exactly relevant. Just know that it was huge. People have said, well, how do they get the animals to come? Have you ever seen an earthquake on the news? Before there's an earthquake, the animals flee from the area. They sense the vibrations. They know it's coming. They know the danger is near. They leave to higher ground, lower ground, whatever the case may be. They know where safety is. Here's Noah's boat. Here's all the ground. Water's coming in. So are the animals. Right to the boat. That's it. That's 6. Should we go to 7? The flood covers the earth? Why not? When everything was ready, the Lord said to Noah, go into the boat with your family, for among the people of the earth I can see that you alone are righteous. You alone are righteous, but I'm going to let you bring your family. Your family ain't righteous, but I'm going to let you bring them. Take with you 7 pairs. 7 pairs of every animal, male and female, that I have provided for eating and for sacrifice, and take 1 pair of each of the others. Also take 7 pairs of every kind of bird. There must be a male and female in each pair to ensure that life will survive on earth after the flood. Why is it important for male and female to continue to mate, to have a relationship? He just said it right there. Male and female. Why male and female? Apple, apple, tree, tree. Pear, pear. Perch, perch. Walleye, walleye. To ensure that all life will survive after the flood. If you take 6 male rhinos and all the females are dead, rhinos are done. It's a wrap. No mas, right? 7 days from now, I'm going to make it rain so hard. It's going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights until I have wiped the earth and all living things I have created. So Noah did everything as the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood covered the earth. 600 years old. Man. I think my back hurts right now. He went on board the boat to escape the flood. He and his wife and his sons and their wives. With them were all the various kinds of animals. After 7 days, the waters of the flood came and covered the earth. When Noah was 600 on the 7th day of the second month, all of the underground, oh, big time here, better pay attention. People say, hey, how did God flood the earth? I can see all the oceans and the lakes and everything. That's not going to flood us. How did it happen? Because it was the underground waters. All the underground waters erupted from the earth, and the rain fell in mighty torrents from the sky. The rain continued to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. That very day, Noah had gone into the boat with his wife and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. With them in the boat were pairs of every kind of animal, 2 by 2, that came to the boat, representing every living thing that breathes. A male and female of each kind entered, just as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord closed the door. 40 days and flood waters grew deeper, covering the ground and lifting the boat high above the earth. As the boat floated safely on the surface, finally the water covered even the highest mountains on earth. The waters covered the highest mountains on earth. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of water that is still under us, under the ground, in the earth. The boat floated safely on the surface. Finally, the water covered even the highest mountains on earth, rising more than 22 feet above the highest peaks. God wanted to ensure he wiped it all out. In case anybody ran up on top of the mountains, God put the water 22 feet above the peak. All the living things on earth died. Birds, domestic animals, and wild animals, small animals that scurry, and all the people. Everything that breathed and lived on dry land died. God wiped out everything on the earth. People, livestock, and animals. All were destroyed. The only people who survived were Noah and those with him in the boat. And the flood waters covered the earth for 150 days. 150 days the flood waters covered the earth. Might as well keep going. 8. The flood recedes. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and livestock in the boat. He sent wind to blow across the earth, and the flood waters began to recede. He sent wind to blow across the earth, and the flood waters receded. God had to move that water. The underground waters stopped flowing, and the torrential rains from the sky were stopped. So the flood waters gradually receded from the earth. After 150 days, exactly 5 months from the time the flood began, the boat came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. 2.5 months later, as the waters continued to go down, 2.5 months later, and the water's still going down, other mountain peaks became visible. After another 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the boat and released a dove? Nope, it says a raven. Noah opened a window and released a raven. The bird flew back and forth until the floodwaters on the earth had dried up. He also released a dove to see if the water had receded and it could find dry ground. But the dove could find no place to land because the water was still covered the ground. So the dove returned to the boat, and Noah held out his hand and drew the dove back inside. After waiting another 7 days, Noah released the dove again. This time the dove returned to him in the evening with a fresh olive leaf in his beak. Then Noah knew the flood waters were almost gone. He waited another 7 days and released the dove again. This time it did not come back. Ravens are black, doves are white. Negative and positive, darkness and light. The raven was released and never came back. The dove was released and came back 3 times. Or 2 times. I think 3. Noah was now 601 years old. On the first day of the new year, 10.5 months after the flood began. 10.5 months of flooded waters. The waters had almost dried up from the earth. Noah lifted back the covering of the boat and saw that the surface of the ground was drying. 2 more months went by, and at last the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat, all of you, and your wife and your sons and the wives. Release all the animals, the birds, the livestock, and the small animals that scurry, so they can be fruitful and multiply once again." So Noah, his wife, and his sons and their wives left the boat, and all the large and small animals came out of the boat. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord. First thing Noah does out of the boat. We see astronauts come back from space and they kiss the ground, worship the ground. First thing Noah does out of the boat, builds an altar for the Lord to worship God, to give thanks and praise. And they say the first thing Noah does is get out of the boat, smoke a cigarette, have a beer, roll some dice, hang out for a while, explore the land, do whatever you want. Nope. First thing Noah did was turn to God. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and there he sacrificed as burnt offerings the animals the birds had been approved for purpose. And the Lord was pleased with the aroma of sacrifice and said to himself, "I will never again curse the ground because of the human race." Listen here, listen here, listen here. I will never again curse the ground because of the human race, even though everything they think or imagine is bent toward evil from childhood. I will never again destroy all living things. As long as the earth remains, there will be planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer, winter, day and night. Man, I really want to go forward because it just keeps getting better. Book of Genesis, that was like 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9 is to come. Another day, maybe tomorrow. Praise God. Pay attention, people. Pay attention. The information's right here. The information is right here. If you don't read it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, you are destined for tough times. Peace.